Welcome to Red V TV, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2024 season. We are on the home straight. It's time for our number 8. And it can only mean one thing in that jersey, Kevin.
It certainly can. It's our number 8. It's Big Alex Walmsley. And Alex is sponsored by Bespoke Funding Solutions Limited.
Bespoke Funding Solutions provide funding solutions to businesses in the Northwest. From cars, vans and trucks through to plant, machinery and equipment, their expertise can help your business realise its full potential. And Kev, you will be glad to know that I am fully out of puns when it comes to someone like this. So we will just make sure that this video is as individual as it can possibly be.
Very good. Very good.
Big Al then. Where are we up to?
Well, obviously, a little bit of a stilted season last year. Him getting himself back in before the end was a great surprise, I think, for us all, because it looked like his season was over after that semi-final against Lee. So, yeah, it was a bit of a weird one for him. And obviously, when players do get a little bit older, they may well be a little bit more susceptible to injury. But he'll be looking for a real injury-free season this year. He'll be looking for consistency in his game. And obviously, as our big strike prop, we want to see that as well, don't we?
Yeah. I think this is his 12th season in the Red V, celebrating his testimonial a couple of years ago. He's 33 in April. Is this a big year for him, given his current deal is up at the end of 2024? And the club will be, and Alex will be looking to sort his future out in the next few months of what he's going to be doing from 2025 and beyond. I'm not suggesting that Alex leaves. I'd like him to extend, but will his form and his fitness over the first few months potentially determine what sort of offer and length of deal is on the table from the club for Alex to consider?
That sounds relatively sensible. Obviously, he's got credits in the bank from the performances he's put in over the past 12 years. But it probably does sound sensible, because you've got to weigh it up on what's happening now, haven't you? You can't weigh it up on what happened 4 years into his Saints career. You've got to do it now. As you say, you want to see the likes of the lads who are coming to the end of their contract at the end of this season. You want to see him renew. You want to see him finish the career at Saints. You want to see him taking us out, going out on a high with us. And it'd be interesting to see what happens. But I think with that long pre-season that he's been able to have, where he's rested and not been away with the international boys, that'll stand him in good stead.
Yeah, I think for me, like, Alex is in my favourite Saints team. I think he's absolutely brilliant for us. Alex on form and on fire is unstoppable. But like Tommy Makinson, I think he's earned the right to decide his future and what he does beyond this season. Listen, I hope he retires in the Red V potentially and finishes his career with us. But I think maybe I've got a sensible head on in terms of it's such a short career in rugby league that players have to maximise their value. And if a better offer does appear on the table for Alex, may this be his last season? Potentially. What we'll all be hoping, Alex included, is that that's not the case, and the deal that is it on offer for 2025 is one that can keep him here. Yeah, we're bumping his value up again.
Well, it's well put, because, and I know we'll talk about Tommy in the coming days, but you don't. If a move came along that suited him better than what Saints were offering in a salary cap sport, then yeah, you'd say, listen, fair play to you. You need to go and do what's right. Obviously, we hope that we're not talking about Alex Walmsley moving on. We're talking about yeah, he's got another deal, and it suits him and it suits the club. It's, as I said earlier, it's going to be interesting to see kind of what happens, and see kind of how them talks go. It might just be a completely out of left field, bang, it's done, and in the next, before the season starts yet, he signed another 12, 24 months. It might be that it drags on and drags on, and it's more towards the end of the season that we find out. As I say, at the minute for him, I'm sure he's just concentrating on getting out on the field against London and putting a big shift in.
Purely based on field, we talked about it the other day of Matty Lees potentially stepping up and coming into his prime, which will help Alex's workload. But does the rise of George Delaney, Noah Stevens potentially, and the likes coming through behind them in the next couple of years, does that potentially help Al if he stays at Saints? Because he won't have to be flogged as much, and you can potentially manage his minutes. Like we managed James Roby and got an extra couple of years out of him. If we can manage Al's minutes and get more impact when he's on the field, it can only be a help.
Yeah, I almost hope we manage his minutes better than we manage James Roby's, because James Roby seemed to be playing 70 minutes every week, 75, 80 minutes every week. Yeah, you want players to be as impactful as they can be. So the last thing you want is Al doing, again, talking about Matty Lees doing 80 minutes that you don't want to see. That's a necessity when you're down on numbers. You don't want to see Alex Deselli doing 60 minutes. He's probably would be shouting at his screen going, I could do 60 minutes. What are these two on about? I can still do that. But you know what? You don't need to prove that anymore. And if we could get a better 40 minutes out of him, because we can look after him a bit better, then why wouldn't you do it? And that's where your Sione Matautias, your Jake Wingfield, George Delaney, Iggy Parsi coming back, Matty Lees, all take that on. Mention Morgan Knowles as well, possibly propping, possibly getting in the middle. You can see that happening to prolong a career, as long as it works for Alex and it works for the pack.
Yeah, Alex obviously 34 in April. I'm sure he could do 60 minutes now, but if you manage his minutes this year, you're potentially going to get more out of him in 2025, 2026.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much more to say about Al. Absolute legend, top man. And hopefully he's back to full fitness and will be ripping in all year long.
Yeah, and look forward to seeing him after. I've mentioned it a couple of times now. After having the pre-season to kind of look after himself, looking forward to the first couple of rounds and seeing how that rest has done for him.
Yeah. Right, that's our number 8. Alex Walmsley done and dusted. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow.
You've turned it to me.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.